Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Director Ahuja, I say that name right?
You did.
All right, thank you. What percentage or number of OPM staff are currently assigned to work remotely?
So we have about 70% coming into the office with a mix of full-time in-person and telework arrangement, and about a little less than 30% remote.
30%, okay. If you send an email to a member of your team and they fail to respond for months until you've sent at least 2 subsequent emails, would you find that acceptable?
I would not.
Would it be acceptable for it to take 4 months for you to get a response to an email?
I would not.
Why then does my caseworker who handles OPM issues consistently report that it takes months and months and multiple emails in order to get someone from your legislative affairs team to respond to her emails?
Well, if you're speaking about retirement services, Congressman, that is not the customer service that we want to have on display.
Well, you've got to understand our frustration. I mean, this one young lady who works in my office, she continuously complains about that, and I wish you all could fix that. I guess, surely you're aware that every member of Congress has a team of caseworkers whose job it is to help their constituents to navigate the federal bureaucracy and that network and to seek resolution to issues they face.
I'm aware, yes.
Would you agree that the federal government operated, if the federal government operated more efficiently, Congress wouldn't need to have so many taxpayer-funded caseworkers to help them fix the mess-ups in the federal government? I mean, literally, that is their full-time job, is just dealing with the mess-ups that are in there.
Well, I take issue with the characterization, but if the larger point is, that at times, and I was a constituent service rep for a member of Congress early in my career, so I understand the importance of them being a conduit and managing the bureaucracy and making figuring out who to talk to in an agency.
I get that, but it's just not acceptable. I think we need to get people back to work, as mentioned before, in the office. The idea that the federal government can operate from people's apartments or their back porches or parents' basement, to me, is bogus. If the federal government was more efficient, then the taxpayers, the everyday Americans, wouldn't have to deal with the headaches at the VA, the State Department, or at your agency, Director Ahuja. Director, if the very agency responsible for issuing personnel policies for the entire federal government is run so poorly that it takes congressional offices months, and I mean months, to even get a response to an email, how can we possibly begin to trust and the OPM to make decisions that are in the interest of the American taxpayer?
Well, Congressman, I appreciate your frustration, and we certainly want to address the particular issue that you mentioned and set a standard for customer service. We've actually improved on our customer service surveys, the one that GSA issues. We are certainly working to make strides in other areas. I hope that you would have the confidence that we have a commitment to the federal workforce and to supporting agencies, which we've done through surge hiring, ensuring that we have benefits that are affordable and comprehensive, that we can ensure that we stay competitive, especially around cyber and IT talent. These are all the things that we would love to work with you in partnership, because we do think especially IT security, cybersecurity in the federal government is absolutely important. And if we have 2,500 jobs over a few years that never get filled, that's a challenge that we should care about. And so I look forward to sharing our cyber talent proposal with you and others to work in partnership. So I hope that you see this as a partnership. We may not agree on everything, but in some ways, what you all are talking about with telework and remote work, we have individuals, like I mentioned, who spend considerable time in the office. I didn't have the data before, but FY21, our FY21 telework report, which was issued at the end of last year, includes 47% of our federal employees that do some in-person time and also telework. So again, we want to balance here, staying competitive, giving flexibility.
I understand that. I'm running out of time, but the point is the accountability. You know, I know literally multi-millionaires who go to work every day. They work in a cubicle next to the people in their businesses. And the reason they're in that cubicle is because they can have eye-to-eye contact and there's an accountability. There is zero accountability when someone is not in the office. I appreciate all these studies that you all have done, and by fellow government, you know, it's kind of like, and we're talking about you're trusting somebody's integrity that maybe doesn't have integrity that's doing this testing. So I question all of that. And when I have constituents on the other end of the line that are in a desperate situation that cannot get an answer, ma'am, that is pitiful, and it needs to be corrected. Thank you.